Hello, I have come up north to a pub called the Space Invader to meet Will Cliff, the Sale Sharks scrum half, legend of the club, his words, not mine, to talk about his off-field business, his beer, Batch 95. It is a very tasty glass of lager. It is proper strength. It is gluten-free. It's excellent stuff. It is low calorie though. And I'm presuming it's a coincidence I've been invited up to talk about and review effectively a low-calorie beer, because calories are not something I consider day to day. Will though might be a bit more worried about his rig because, frankly, he's let it go in a big way.
Hi, I'm Will Cliff, Sale Sharks and co-founder of Batch 95.
Will, cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Good to see you. A nice pint in the warm. I mean, it's snowing out there. We're in the warm. Let's try it.
Yeah.
That is nice. Tell us why Batch 95, because it's not batch like with a T, is it? It's not a batch of 95 beers. There's a reason for it.
Yeah, so it's a batch of beers, is in a bit of a play on words, but we're from Sandbatch, so myself and Tom, who's the 9 and the 5, and then we've got a partner who's Jesse.
So you're scrum half, he was a second row.
Yeah.
Who was better at rugby, you or him? Well, you're still playing. Was he as good as you?
Yeah, he did the dirty work.
Yeah.
He looked after me.
Yeah. Well, when did you have the idea?
So we had the idea years ago it was. We were at a barbecue, and do you remember a hooker called Mark Jones?
Yep.
He was there, and we turned up, and he's big hard as nails hooker, and he had a bottle of champagne, or Prosecco or something, and he was drinking this. It was early on, like first drink, and I was like, mate, but it's not a champagne reception here. We're like, what are you drinking that for? He's like, I'm a bit juicy at the moment, boy, you know. And he was feeling a bit fat before pre-season.
Was he?
He was feeling voluptuous, I think was the word he used.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's less calories. And me and Tom had kind of already sort of briefly mentioned it, and we looked at each other at that point and went, right, we've got to do this.
So the 95 is also to do with the calorie count in the beer, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So that was sort of the USP, and the key reason we did it was actually we want, first and foremost, sort of great tasting lager, but when we go and do our mills on a Monday in pre-season, we want them to feel slightly better about it and not quite as high. So yeah.
So you created a business. How'd you do that?
So the first thing we did is I remember sitting in my garden, fully enough, with a few beers, and we sent about 8 emails out to local breweries, just micro breweries, and saying, I've got this idea, concept, this is who we are, do you want to have a chat about it? A lot of them said no, because they like doing craft ales and are offended by a pretty sort of mainstream lager. And I got one email back off a guy who actually I coached at Knutsford. And so we sat down with him, and he was like, great. He's been brewing for years, and we did the recipe development, we did a load of tasting, beer profile, and we said we want it to be this ABV, and we want it to be low calorie, 95 if possible, which fair play managed to get there. So we did that, we came up with the beer, and we got it brewed, and we got it wrong 2-3 times, and we got it to where we wanted to get it.
Do you think that actually doing something else in your spare time that is pretty much completely removed from being a professional rugby player gives you an edge, gives you a sort of competitive edge, and potentially makes you better at both jobs?
I think so, yeah. I found since I've been busier, I've actually played better. Look, I'm not, I've got to do something after rugby and actually pick something that you enjoy and give it a go. Even if it's not a success, what you'll learn along the way is invaluable. Yeah. And it's been a massive learning curve, but here we are now. Communication is probably the other side of it. I mean, the team meetings and sat in a room and on the field, I think that's the one thing that's probably you don't think about that much, but it comes naturally. And I think stepping into a business world with a beer, actually, which you can't just sit in your office and never speak to people. It's something where actually you've got to go out and talk to people. You've got to promote the brand. It makes a massive difference. And then the only other thing I'd probably say is feedback as well. You know how brutal it can be, especially when Steve Diamond was in charge.
Yes.
Like those Mondays weren't enjoyable, but
not
actually,
too fluffy.
No, not fluffy at all. So, and actually that probably helps at times. And obviously Tom and Jesse, both ex-players, and they sort of know the score. So being able to go, actually, you've not done that well, you've not done that. We're all aiming to make this as good as it can be.
Cheers, Will. Nice one, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Enjoyed that. Good luck to you.